Welcome, Domain Day from CheapWineFinder.com again with another wine review like we always do and we have done for years and years and years. And today we have it's a favorite from the website. It's from Aldi. It's $9.99 and it's one of the I don't mind if I do line of wines. And this is the don't mind if I do sparkling wine. And let's see what we know about this one. It's got, let me grab the bottle. It's got 85 calories, 9% alcohol, 0 sugar, and it's gluten-free. And that's the whole thing with most of these I don't mind if I do wines, is that you're getting diet wine, I guess you could call it, but you're not paying the price. It's not like you're having to suffer at all. These are decent wines in their own ways. And, something that you might want to think about, this has no sugar, 0 sugar. It's not no sugar added, no sugar at all. And like the most expensive champagnes are nature, which means 0 sugar added. It's like one of the harder things to do for champagne, for bubblies, is to not have a lot of sugar in there because you're having 2 fermentations, you're adding sugar and you're adding yeast. You have to do that twice. There's a lot of room for having some sweetness to it. And this is made in the Charmat method. That's how they make Prosecco, where they ferment the grapes once and then they age it a little bit and they do all the special things to give the flavor, and then they put it into a large pressurized vat, turn the pressure up to the desired amount, wait a few weeks to a few months, and they don't say what it is here. The people who made this wine, I don't mind if I do still wines, is made by a family-owned winery out of Monterey, and this is made from a family-owned winery out of Lodi, and I won't name them because they went out of their way to not put their name on it, and I kind of found out anyway. But it's like they've been around since 1938. They're the largest sparkling wine winery in Lodi, which, I don't think there's that many. And most of the wines they do are flavored, like almond flavored, raspberry, pomegranate. They do that type of wine. They're old school kind of, but they've been around forever. So that means they're doing something right. And they own a bunch of organic vineyards. And, they're, like I said, they're around since 1938. So something's got to be right, and this is kind of right. And some of their other wines they make under their own label are made with French Colombard, and they're using other grapes that you're not it's not always the champagne grapes of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier and all that type of thing. But that's perfectly fine for a $10 sparkling wine that's got some, for some people, really desirable attributes to it. I mean, if you're worried about sugar, this doesn't have any. If you're worried about calories, this is less than a diet beer. If you're worried about alcohol, 9% is fairly low. You can have a glass or two and wake up in the morning feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm not going to take a sip. And this is, you got to remember, this is made like a Prosecco, not like a champagne, like a Prosecco. So it's going to have a little bit different attack to it. When the flavors hit your palate, it seems like it's going to be sweet, and then that just disappears. And since there's no added sugar, the flavors also kind of disappear on your tongue, which is actually a good thing. The more sugar you have in there, the more it engages your mouth, that type of thing. Like the best champagnes, and I know I'm comparing a $10 diet sparkling wine from Aldi to an expensive champagne, but those expensive nature champagnes just disappear. You taste it and it's gone. It really is kind of an expensive treat. And here it is for $9.99. I mean, I get the same thing. Now, this isn't, I'm not comparing it to $110 champagne. I mean, that's silly, but you get kind of some of the attributes are there. Some of them are there. Yeah, I mean, because there isn't any sugar, you're not getting, like, the flavors don't keep on going on. There's not like a lot of depth to the flavors. But what there is, it hits you and then goes away, and it hits you and goes away. The acidity is really good. Not so much lately, but there was a time when if you bought a $10 sparkling wine, the acidity is probably going to be a little sharp. I mean, it was going to be an acid bomb. But this is really well-managed acidity. I mean, it's just right in the pocket. It gives it as much length as it can. You know, most time acidity with sparkling wines are there to combat the sugar, and there's no sugar to combat, but it's still doing a good job. I'll take another sip. It is a tasty little wine. I mean, this is perfectly, if you didn't know that it was a diet wine, if you didn't know it was gluten-free and 9% alcohol and 85 calories and no sugar, you would guess that this is a little bit different, but it's not different in a bad way. It's different in, like, I kind of like this kind of different way. Yeah, I think that's my fourth sip, but it's bubbly. I mean, I kind of like to sip that stuff. Yeah, it's good. I mean, $9.99 for a diet bubbly that you can have without having any guilt involved, and it feels great in your palate. It tastes well. There's not a ton of flavor. It's delicate, but that and subtle, but that in a sparkling wine is perfectly fine. There's no problem with that. So there you go. That's let's see. Is it I don't mind if I do or don't mind if I do? Yeah, just don't mind if I do. Sparkling wine. That's what it's called. It's from Aldi, and it's exclusive Aldi, and I like it. I mean, for a bubbly, I mean, this is worthy of New Year's Eve or something like that. This is perfectly fine. Especially if you have a family event and you don't want the aunt or grandma to get looped on champagne. Well, this will, 9% alcohol and no sugar and low calories would kind of be a nice thing to go, a nice way to go about it. So there you go. That's it for me, Domain Dave. I still have that charity wine coming up in a couple of days. Like us, where you like your podcast, like I always say. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm or dry or cool, whatever is going on out there. I'll be talking to you in a couple of days. Adios. Keep it cheap. Bye-bye.